welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper, and happy Sabbath to everybody. While I'm enduring my current 3-month ban on YouTube Live strike on community guidelines, and when I did, they denied it and said, and guys, I'm focusing on the road, just making sure to clarify, they didn't let me my appeal on the strike overturned, and so because of that, my strike's going to remain. And you might say, "No, why did you get a strike on YouTube?" For those that ain't been in the know lately, I've called out fake news time and time and time again over the years, and now that you know, the servants of Satan, I'll just call it that, because that encompasses a lot of people in the media industry and government and everywhere, are starting to shut people down that are calling out fake news, because this is the problem. A lot of humanity out there, I love y'all, but y'all just like squirrel all the time, and that includes myself at times, okay? So what happens is a lot of people's like not paying attention to what is going on, and because of that, you know, the news just does whatever they want. Well, I want to point something out to you guys today. I apologize. I'm driving today to visit a friend on Sabbath, and I wanted to just share some of this with y'all. If you guys do not think that the fake news is a real issue nowadays, I'm going to tell you something. You go back to these shootings. This is what done it for me. All right, if you go back to these shootings like the one that happened in Virginia, any video, now it's really hard to find a video stream of this nowadays, because as soon as they went up, it was pulled. As soon as it went up, it was pulled. But if you can find a copy from somebody, okay, on message boards and etc., you'll see in the clips the shooting that took place in Virginia at that marina. I know a friend that actually used to manage that place, so I know like the location, where it's at, and everything. The situation could have been easily set up to be faked, right? Now, with that going on, you say, well, how was it faked? Well, this is the situation. You have a white shooter, a Caucasian male-looking person in the one shooting frame. The people are positioned differently, and the shooter comes straight on to them, you know? So here it is, shooting straight on. And then you have, in this other situation, the other video, that was the body cam footage supposed to be of the shooter, right? Well, the other angle, you have a so-called black man come up from the side, coming this way up. The people are positioned differently, and the video different. His video is different how they're running away being shot. Now, it compiles further is when you see the woman that supposedly got shot and murdered. She was on a Martha Stewart program and was recorded saying, "Fake it till you make it." That woman said that, okay? Now, keep in mind, she's also a reporter. We have seen, moving forward from that long ago, that was years ago when I filmed that on my channel, we see, moving forward now, you see all this stuff where the reporters are getting caught faking news. Like, for example, this one reporter put up the 2 light stands, stretched caution tape, got a police officer in front of him, and I know I said some of these things in relation to the last video I made, but I'm getting to a point today about fake news and why it's so important you need to understand this, is because I'm going to also be making a video coming up called "You May Still Be in Babylon," or so, "You May Still Be Asleep in Babylon," or something like that, because I'm going to point out a bunch of things that people that are missing in Babylon right now, or they would have already left it. But with that said, and fake news will be one of them, is when you see all these news outlets faking stuff, and people are eating it up, you know, and believing every word, hanging on every word that comes off of these media people's mouth, I don't know how you reach people to wake them up out of that slumber, because it just seems to me that people love truth more than lies. And there's that scripture, you know, they love darkness rather than light. And there's a scripture, I can't think of the exact scripture verse at the moment, but it says to the effect, because they had not the love of the truth, Elohim sent strong delusion among them, or something to that effect, I believe what it is. And, you know, guys, to me, I think that what we're seeing nowadays, especially in the last generation, is you're seeing a sifting of the sand table. You're seeing that being sifted out. The fine grains being separated from the hard rocks, because people, if you come to me and you say, "Look, I seen this in the news. I don't think it's real." Now, what Luke's going to do is I'm going to go up first and watch initially what was presented to you, the person. Then I'm going to do what any good lawyer would do, and I'm going to take that evidence and I'm going to go look at what really went down. Now, if it don't match up, then you have a case presentable to your court, right? You, the jury, my subscribers. And that's exactly what I've done with things in the past. I presented it and showed this to you so that you would, you can go and look these up to see if they be so. What happens now is that all that is being promulgated is fake news. And anybody that points out the fake news or points out, hey, this is what you should really look into, that's being shut down, pulled off the, the internet, being censored. That's why I just don't spend time on Facebook doing live videos or sharing a lot of stuff to people, because you get put in Facebook jail, you'll get it pulled, and you'll get censored. But now all sorts of fake news stories and junk like that, which they say they're going to censor or start cracking down on, that junk's on there every day, all day long. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what more to say to you to get you to wake up, other than you're going to have to start thinking for yourself. Because if you don't, all that's, we live in a 1984 society now. I was reading the book of Enoch the other day on my maintenance job that I work part-time, and I'm going to work on reading 1984 through. That's going to be my next project, to go back to 1984 and try to filter through this stuff, read it again and again and again, get it ingrained and remembered. And it's like, in a time of absolute deceit, I think it's what the quote is out of the book, in a time of absolute deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. And, every day I wake up anymore, I feel like a modern day revolutionary. You talk, I hear that quote at times talks about, there comes a time in every man's life that you feel like you need to hoist the black flag. Well, this is the modern day pirate flag right there, come and take it. I'm telling you, there's coming a time, and I'm not talking about violence either, I'm telling you there is coming a time real soon that, you're going to have to stand your ground to your family, friends, the government, the world, and everybody, and stand out there boldly and be like, look, this is how it is. You're lying to me, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And it's going to take multitudes of people standing up and saying that. It can't just be one man, or you'll just end up executed, dead, or in a FEMA camp. Sorry guys, traffic is thick today. And that's just the way that it's going to be. And standing for truth is going to cost you your life one day. Like, dude, it is so obvious to me nowadays, guys. I mean, like, it's beyond obvious to me. Like, I'll tell you an example of this. I have a friend. I think the world of him, like a brother. And I've told him again and again and again, I'm like, you need to research flat earth. You need to research flat earth. And I'm thinking it was chapter 18 it was chapter 8 or chapter 18, the book of Enoch the other day. I read this at work. And I'll share this in a video coming up soon when we do the video about Bible verses, the flat earth Bible verse. It talks about Enoch being taken to the ends of the earth, and he's seen the end of the firmament, of the Shemayim above, at the end of the earth. Now, if you live on a globe, explain this to me. Riddle me this. How can a man be taken by the messengers of the Most High Yah to the ends of the literal earth, that has a cornerstone, by the way, too, according to the book of Enoch, but taken to the literal ends of the earth and see the end of the firmament of the Shemayim of the heaven above? End of the dome, end of the firmament coming down that's of the Shemayim above. No, they don't work on a globe. I'm sorry. Goodbye. Okay, globalist. But I told my friend, you need to research, you know what he done? You can tell the people the Spirit of the Most High Yah is in and is moving in their lives, because they have the love of the truth that they went and looked into. And you know what he said to me the other day? Starting to question gravity. Starting to question, all the things that's been told. Why? Because we are indoctrinated from youth to believe the news, to believe we live on a globe. I mean, that's the first things beat over your head in school. Dude, this is one of the first things I remember, ABCs and a globe. That's the first things I remember from school when I was a little taught in school. First two things that was indoctrinating me. Which being able to read and write is important. I'll grant that one. But the globe, that was the next thing. And so anyway, Miss Nikki, what was, just out of curiosity, what was the first thing that you were taught in school? Okay. You slept since then? Well, you know, and it's just like, just the fact that you were indoctrinated from youth to believe a lie does not make that lie truth. And therefore, when truth is presented to you, it is immediately rejected because it is foreign. People, you got to stop thinking like that. You've got to stop thinking like that, because I'm going to tell you, just like I told my boy the other day, I had to get on to him for doing something wrong. I said, John, why'd you do that? I said, and you know, it hurt his feelings. And you know, I talked to him. I said, listen, I said, who is there to tell Dad right and wrong? Who's standing over top of me to tell me right and wrong? He's like, nobody. He's like, that's right. That's all right. And I said, so I'm not always going to be there to tell you what's right and wrong. And so because I love you, because you are my seed, because you are the generation after me, you are my flesh and blood, I care enough to tell you these things to warn you not to be in error. And I'm like, that's why. It's not to be mean, it's not to be cruel, it's so that you know, so you can think for yourself. Because I don't want you to do something because Dad told you to. I want you to do something because it's the right thing to do and because you were well informed on what the situation is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that that's where we're at with everybody. Where everybody needs to be is you need to make the right decision based on the right information. And if you do not do your diligence to properly research out what is being presented to you anymore, and you just soak that junk right up, one day when it really matters, it may cost you life and it may cost you eternal salvation. Just throwing that out there for what it's worth. And Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel won't always be there to tell you. I mean, I think the only reason this channel exists now and still is there is because the Most High Yah has blessed it, because there's things on there, important things have been presented that people still need yet to see, so that they can go and do further research on. I think that's the only reason the channel's still around. And so, guys, I just want to tell you, if you believe, if you are still watching the news outlets, and you are still trusting, like this last thing I've seen in this video, there's an ex-CNN reporter that was giving an interview, I think it was on Sky News, and they were talking about how that they could not say this, or they could not say that, or this is what we need you to report on this week, even though that this is more important, or blah, blah, blah. There is an agenda that drives the fake news. There is an agenda that it is to keep people in a certain direction, looking a certain way, thinking a certain way all the time. The only reason NASA exists is to propagandize the globe, because they need to hide the Most High Yah. I mean, when you start seeing all this, when you really finally one day come off your hard freaking heart, and you're like, you know what, today's the day. I've got to look into this to see if this be so. And if it is, I'll make a covenant to walk in it. That day, I hope, comes to you if you ain't one of them people yet, okay? Because, you know, I tell you these things because I love you. Because nobody was there to tell me whenever I first walked out of Babylon, hardly. And that's a hard walk. So, guys, until we see you again here at Seven Trumpets Prepper Channel, I'm going to go spend my Sabbath day with Grace the Most High Yah with a good friend. And I love you guys to the dome and back. And I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua.